Hi, today we are going to discuss ethics and overview, in which we will discuss basic ideas or basic definitions and its nature of the ethics. So, what is ethics? At its simplest way, ethics is a system of moral principles. These principles affect how people make decisions and lead their lives. Ethics is concerned with what is good for individuals and society and is also described as moral philosophy. The term is derived from the Greek word ethos, which can mean custom, habit, character, or disposition. As we have discussed mentioned in the previous slide, that ethical principles affect how people make decisions and lead their lives. So during our life we have many times or occasions when we have to make the decision among different uh, paths or alternatives, so to live our life. So these ethical principle provides us help or support to make these decisions correctly and justifiable. Basically, ethics cover the following dilemmas. How to live a good life? It means we have to decide that what is a good life for us and what is bad things we should avoid. Then our rights and responsibility. So, what is our responsibility in the society? What is our right toward other and to responsibility towards the others? So as we know, this is ethics and our social responsibility. So ethic basically tell us that what responsibility we have toward others. Then the language of right and wrong, what language should be spoken. So what word we should use when we are talking with the other people, what are the good words or what are the bad words, what are their meaning. Then moral decisions, what is good and bad. So the basic objective of ethics principle is to make the decision that what is good for us and what is bad for us and as well as for the society in which we are living. Our concept of ethics have been derived from religions, philosophies and cultures. So what is the origin, what is the source of all these ethical principle is our religion. Different religion have principles how to live a good life. Then philosophers have did the research and find out that what is the good thing, what are the good things and what are not the good things. Then cultures, and these all things are in the culture as well that we are doing, and these cultural things or cultural principle become also part of our ethics. So they infuse debates on topics like life, human rights and professional conduct. So ethics also cover and discuss about the, and we do discussion and debates about what is life and what are the human rights and what are the rights of the human, what are the limits of the human rights. And then professional conduct, how we have to conduct ourselves with other people, if we are like student, if we are like teacher, if we are doctor, if we are engineer, if we are businessman, if we are a politician. So these all, how these ethics cover all the conduct, all the principle of conduct or all the description of the conduct, how we are conducting our life in a right way, or what is right things and what are the not right thing, or which are those are the bad things. So ethics covers the dilemmas mean, I will explain in the next slide, that when there is a two alternatives of kind of same nature. So let's define what dilemmas are. A dilemma is a problem offering two possibilities or solutions, neither of which is unambiguously acceptable or preferable. Then these possibilities are termed the horns of dilemma, a cliche usage but distinguish the dilemma from other kind of predicament as a matter of usage. So dilemma, like I explained, I just little bit explained in the previous slide, that dilemma is a problem where have two possibilities or two solutions which are very similar or acceptable or preferable solution for a problem. So sometimes it is very hard to select one of that because they have so much similar things, or they maybe have pro and cons on in each solution. So these is basically, these possibilities are the part of that solution, but we have to distinguish it from other predicament as a matter of usage. So again, I am explaining this dilemma because it will uh, repeat this word in this subject again and again. So dilemma is like two same kind of path where we have difficulty in selecting or choosing one. So after defining the dilemmas, let's talk about the what are the ethical dilemmas. And ethical dilemmas or ethical paradox is a decision-making problem between two possible moral imperatives, neither of which is ambiguously acceptable or preferable. So the complexity arises out of the situational conflict in which obeying would result in transgressing an other. So like in the previous slide, we defined the dilemmas. The ethical dilemmas are ethical paradox. Paradox mean, you are doing one thing but it is happening another thing. You are solving one problem but another problem arising, so it's like our paradox. See, so you are doing one thing but another thing is also happening, yeah, or it is a result is another thing too, so it become like paradox. Is a decision making problem between two possible moral imperatives, neither of which is ambiguously acceptable. Ambiguously mean without any doubt. So we still have doubt. When we select one, we have doubt. So our selection is not without the doubt. So complexity arises out of the situational conflict. Why we are not sure? Because different see, like I discussed with you, we have ethical principles. So if there is any issue, we use the ethical principles to solve that solution. But sometimes situations are so different or difficult that principles can help us but cannot make decision for us. So this the complexity arises out of the situational conflict in which obeying would result in transgressing another. If we obey those principle, maybe we are crossing another one's area, or we are intervening, or we are going transgressing mean we are going another area of another person. So it means that it's a dilemma. If we do right things, maybe we are hurting someone. So this sometimes this kind of dilemma is, for example, if we lay off or fire old people because we need young people, so we might hurt the family of that old person, because that's the only person who is making the money for that family. Or same thing is with the child labor. We are against, ethically we are against the child labor, but actually if we there are a lot of children, those are the bread earner for their families. So this kind of dilemmas, if we are following one principle, maybe we are going against to another principle. So basically these are kind of ethical dilemmas. So after discussing the definition and explaining the dilemma or an ethical dilemma, let's uh, talk about some of the characteristics of ethical issues or dilemmas. So this slide is very important, so to recognize a issue or an ethical issue as a dilemma, which has a solution which are very close to each other, or we are very doubtful either we should do that or shouldn't do that. So number one is moral disagreements are common. So maybe like I gave example previously that child labor, maybe we are disagreement, we have disagreement is a common disagreement about things, that some people go to one side and other people go to the other side. Moral issues are often controversial and open-ended. Open-ended mean there's no solution. They're always staying as a dilemma, as a problem. There's no final solution. Controversial mean it has more than one opinion. It is often difficult to arrive at the same consensus. So you cannot reach to the same decision. Most of the time it is very difficult to reach to the same result. How serious could people disagree with one another? Seriousness of the disagreement. Sometimes we have to see that how uh, how much we are disagreeing. If we are too much disagreeing, then maybe it is not ethical dilemma. Maybe it is, and sometimes it could be disagreement will be radical or fundamental, basic. Sometimes we have small disagreement. Sometimes we have fundamental or radical. Mean altogether we are like separate opinions. So people even disagree about what and how much they disagree. So sometimes they don't know even that how much how apart they are from each other. Sometimes some people saying, okay, we are very close to each other, but actually maybe they are far away from each other on some matters. So these kind of ambiguities, this kind of controversial things, this kind of disagreements uh, add to that, become a ethical issue or dilemma for us. Next is the approaches to the ethics. So philosophers have divided ethical theories into three different areas. Number one is the meta ethics, number two is the normative ethics, and number four is the applied ethics. So in the following slides we will discuss each of this in detail. Meta ethics is what is the meaning of meta? Meta is a prefix meaning more comprehensive or transcending uh, of anything. So when we are saying meta ethics, it means the meaning of ethics more comprehensively and go beyond the range of the limits. So meta actually is the showing what is beyond of anything, like metaphysics is what is the beyond the physics, and same thing is the meta ethics, and we go beyond the range and see what actual ethics is. So meta ethics deal with the nature of moral judgment. It looks at the origin and the meanings of ethical principles. So we go back to its roots and origin and find out the meanings of ethical principles. So how these uh, ethical principle have been evolved. So then meta ethics is a branch of analytic philosophy that explores the status, foundation, and the scope of moral values, properties, and the words. Like I discussed with you that metaphysics ethics is the branch of philosophy which analyze and explore the status uh, and the foundation and the scope of all these moral values and properties and the words in ethics. The next uh, area of ethics is normative ethics. Like this name shows, it is kind of normal ethics. It concerns with the contents of moral judgment and the criteria of what is right or the wrong. So here we describe or narrate the what are the criteria to judge, to make a judgment, a moral judgment. It includes the formulation of moral rules that have direct implications for what human actions, institution, and way of life should be like. So here we uh, discuss that what should be life or what should be our action should be. So the three normative theories you are studying therefore illustrate three different set of ideas about how we should live. So in normative ethics, telling these theories will tell us or explain us that how we should have uh, how should we live the life which is good life. So then they have three different set of theories which are part of normative theories. So one is deontology, theology, and consequentialism. So these are the three different kind of theories which we will discuss individually in the coming lectures. The next area is applied ethics. So basically here we apply the ethics like its name shows. Applied ethics looks like a controversial topics like war, animal rights, and capital punishment. So these when we apply those principles in different situations, we have different opinion, and that is basically ethical dilemmas. It is like euthanasia, death penalty, gay lesbian marriages or rights, war tactics, censorship, and human rights. These are the examples of different controversial topics in ethics, and we will discuss, or I will give you some project about this, and there are some projects related to about war and uh, in Thessaloniki. It is already there, so please go and watch that project as well. These are the some of the link with the student in the previous semester have done the projects about the controversial topics in ethics and social responsibility. So please go through this. These are very good, projects, and I need your feedback on that too. And in this semester you have to do also this type of projects as well. Now let's discuss the usage and what is the use of the ethics. Are ethics theories useful in practice? Do they affect the way human beings behave? So these are the two questions we have to give the answers. So all these ethical theories are good, are useful in practice in our real life, and they have any impact or effect on our human, how we behave in our real life. So the answer, some of the philosophers think that ethics does do this. So they help in shaping our ethical lives in real world. They argue that if a person realizes that it would be morally good to do something, then it would be irrational for that person not to do that. So these theories are providing rational reasons for doing things. But if people will not follow that and do the irrational things, these are not good for them. But as we know, human beings often behave irrationally, so they follow their gut feelings, their gut instinct, what their their heart is saying, what their emotion is saying. They don't stay rational. So even when they here suggest a different course of action and they do different things, told what we what is told to them to do, that usually they ignore that and do what they want to do that. So sometimes these ethical theories help us to do the right things, but if we don't follow, maybe it will not, they don't force, this will not force us to do the things like, instructions are there, but it is our duty, our responsibility to follow those instructions. If we don't follow those instructions, maybe we will harm ourselves or our life become bad or worse. So however, ethics do provide good tools for thinking about moral issues, what is good and what is bad. So these are the result is that these ethics theories provide us good tools to select what is good and what is bad for us in our real life. In previous slide we have discussed that what do the ethics can do. So basically ethics can do for us that it provide a moral map, it pinpoint disagreement portion of our discussion of our argument. It doesn't give you all the right answers, and then maybe provide you several answers. So it provides a moral map. Most moral issues get us pretty worked up. Think of abortion or euthanasia for the starter. So these are the some of the issues we have to work on that. So this ethics principles provide us a roadmap or a moral map to find out where they are good and where they are not good, because these are such emotional issues. We often let our hearts do the arguing while our brains just go with the flow. So these are so emotional issues that we don't become irrational. So and we will go with our emotions, with our heart, not with our mind. But there is another way of tackling these issues, and that's where philosophers can come in. They offer us ethical rules and principles that enable us to take a cooler view of moral problem. So instead of heating up and debating, we will take a cooler, a softer view of a moral problem. So ethics provide us with a moral map, a framework that we can use to find our way through difficult issues. So some issues are really difficult. So if there is a argument between your mind and with your heart, so your heart is saying something else and your mind is saying, or your brain is saying something else. So if you go through these moral uh, ethical principles, you might find a, some compromising way of doing the things, and you will be satisfied yourself and as well as other people by taking these kind of decisions which are based on our moral map. Ethics also pinpoint or locate the where we are disagreeing. So when you argue, ethics also tell us where we are disagreeing. Using the framework of ethics, two people who are arguing a moral issue can often find that what they disagree about is just one particular part of the issue, and they broadly agree on everything else. So sometimes we are maybe 90% we are agreeing on something, and maybe like 10% we are disagreed. So this ethics help us to find out that particular portion where we are disagreeing, and become easy for us to agreeing on that point as well. That can take a lot of heat out of argument, and sometimes even hint at a way for them to resolve their problems. So but sometimes ethics does not provide people with the sort of help they really want. So uh, ethics can provide us solutions for a lot of our problems or issues, but it is not necessary that it will provide a solution for everything. So working while you are arguing about something, if you involve the ethical principles, it will help you to reach a agreement easily as compared to without, when you are arguing without any ethics or without any morality. So again, having said this, still uh, sometimes ethics does not provide people with the sort of help that they really want. They, ethics are maybe become handicapped there too. Another limitation of ethics is this, that maybe it will not give you the right answers. So ethics does not always show the right answer to moral problem. Indeed, more and more people think that for many ethical issues there aren't a single right answer, just a set of principles that can be applied to particular cases to give those involved some clear choices. So but again, having said this, that the ethics don't give you the right answers, but at least it will give you some answers that you can decide that if it is right or if it is not right. Some philosophers go further and say that all ethics can do is eliminate confusion and clarify the issue, like I was explaining to you. Maybe it will make a picture of issue more clearer so you can find out maybe the right answer. Maybe you can reach, it will help you to reach the right answer. Maybe it will directly not give you the right answer, but it will help you, and you will build uh, your answer on these ethical frameworks you are drawing and under which working. And again, it will reduce the complexity of the issues. After that, it is up to each individual to come to their own conclusion. So like I was telling you, so then it will be, maybe it will be easier for us to do the decision easily, or we can reach to some conclusion to solve that problem. Like in previous slide, we have discussed that ethics don't give us the right answer, or maybe sometimes give you many answers, and maybe they are all correct, or maybe all of them wrong. It depends again upon us that what we will pick and what we will not pick. So ethics can give several answers. Many people want there to be a single right answer to ethical questions. But ethics is not like a computer or something that you put the issue and the answer will be popped up. It's not like that, popped out. It's not like that. It could be, if you are a very principled person, then it will easy for you. But sometimes these situations are so different that maybe you will not go on your principle which you have to change it. You have to take another path, or sometimes you have to take u-turn on your principles. So many people want there to be a single right answer to ethical question, but honestly, it is not like this. There could be more than one right answer, and they all may be right. For this reason, we have ethical dilemmas. They find moral ambiguity hard to live with because they genuinely want to do the right thing, and even they cannot work out what the right thing is. They like the idea that somewhere there is one right answer, so they strive for the right answer. So but sometimes you don't have time, or maybe you don't have all the information, or maybe you have a lot of pressures to reach to that answer. So but again, we think there might be somewhere there is a one answer which could be right, but often there isn't one right answer. There may be several right answer, or just some at, at at least worse answer, and the individual must choose between them. So there's a range of answer from good, better, best, and bad, worse, and worse. So you have to choose from the spectrum of answers. For other, moral ambiguity is difficult because it forces them to take responsibility for their own choices and actions rather than falling back on convenient rule and customs. So, for other, moral ambiguity is difficult, because it forces them to take responsibility of their own choices. They want to be because maybe sometimes we can take our responsibility of our decision. Sometimes we say we take this decision due to this thing, and we take decision due to another thing. So an action, and rather than falling back on convenient rules of custom. So sometimes we say, okay, is it ambiguous, we have to take this decision, like we have to take it. The next topic in ethics is ethics and people. So ethic is about other people, ethics as a source of group strength, and then good people as well as good action, and searching for the source of right or wrong. So these are the how ethic is related with the people. So it has concern with other people. It gives you the strength to a group, and it is for good people and their action, and searching for the source of right and wrong. So this is the ethic and people. Ethics is about the other. So at the heart of ethics is a concern about something or someone other than ourselves and our own desires and self interest. So when we act ethically, we don't think we don't think about ourselves or just our own interest, our own desire, but we also think about other people as well. So ethics are telling us, are guiding us that how we have to behave with other people. For this reason, ethic is there, and it will help us to perform our social responsibilities, like in the first chapter we have studied. Ethics is concerned with other people interest, with interest of society, with God's interest, with ultimate goods, and so on. So ethics is concerned with other people's interest, like I told you, with the interest of society. So any action we are doing or we are taking, we have to not just consider ourselves, but we have to consider other people, including society. What will be God or Allah will ask, Allah is asking, or will be happy about our action, and what actions are in the eyes of God is not good. So when we, and ultimate is goods, and so on. So when a person thinks ethically, they are giving at least some thought to something beyond themselves. So you are not like self-centered. Anytime when you think ethical, or we will say this person is very ethically right, so that means when he or she is taking any action, it he or she will also consider the rights, interest, and the desire of other people. It's not like just you are not selfish. So ethics is about other. As we were discussing in the previous slide, ethics is about other people. When you would think about other people while we are doing or taking any action, it gives strength to the whole group, because when we take care of interest of each other, it unites us and give the strength to society, to the group. Our problem with ethics is the way it's often used as a weapon. If the group believes that the particular activity is wrong, it can then use morality as the justification for the attacking those who participate that who practice that activity. When people do this, they often see those who they regard as the immoral as in some way are less human, or deserving for respect than themselves, sometimes with the tragic consequences. So if be careful, when you think some ethical action, some actions are not ethical. So we tell people you are immoral, or you are not the part of our society, and you don't less you are not deserving the respect. Then, and sometimes it has like tragic consequences. We are so bad that we sometimes we kill people, or we give punishment to the people. So ethics as a source of group strength as well. Good people as well as good action. So ethics is not only about the morality of particular courses of action, but is also about the goodness of individual, and with it means live a good life. So the ultimate objective of ethics is to live a good life, and is a goodness for individual and as well as for the society. So virtue ethics is particularly concerned with the moral character of the human beings. So we need the virtues mean our actions. After all this discussion, we are still searching for the source of right and wrong, but no, even philosophers are less sure that is it is possible to devise a satisfactory and complete theory of ethics, at least not one that leads to conclusion. So we are still looking for the philosophers who are writer, who are thinker, looking to find out some ultimate answer to the solution, ethical solution. Modern thinkers often teach that ethics leads people not to conclusion but to decisions. So when you take decision, it is not the end of the things, but we have to take the decision about some things. We will do it, or we will not do it, or we will do like this, or we will do like that. So conclude, maybe we cannot conclude the things, but we take the decision. In this view, the role of ethics is limited to clarifying what is at stake is particular ethical problem. So like we have discussed before, so ethics help us to clear the picture, make a transparent problem and make a framework which help us to reach to a decision, if it is right or not, that we have previously discussed. Maybe we have more than one right answer about issues. Maybe all are not right, maybe all are good. Philosophy can help identify the range, like I told you, it is a spectrum of ethical methods, conversations and value system that can be applied to a particular problem. These are tools we have, ethical issues, ethical methods, talking, value system, that all help us, and we apply to that to a particular problem to get some decision or some answer. But after these things have been made clear, each person must make their own individual decision as to what to do and then react appropriately to the consequences. So we are free to take the decisions, but we are also responsible for our decision, for our consequences. So if we reach to the end of our lecture, so end thing is that ethics provide us all the methods, all the techniques, all the knowledge, all the framework, all the value system to apply to a particular problem or issue. But ultimately this is we who are taking the decisions and then bearing the consequences. If it is you are doing good, if the consequences are good, you will like it, you will enjoy it, you will, but if the consequences are coming bad and haunting you or hurting you, then it is the problem. I mean, you didn't do the right decision. So but it will give you, again, if you are wrong, it will give you an answer, if you give you improve your knowledge, improve your experience. So maybe when you do the next time the same kind of decision, or you are in the same kind of situation, you will do better decision. So this way we come to end of our first lectures, and I'm saying again, if you have any question or any ambiguity or any you want to make more clear or clearer, so please give me the a question, write down question, and I will glad to answer. Each person is free to choose their own decision, but they are not free from the consequences of your decisions. So this is the bottom line of all our lecture. So you use ethical standards, ethical principles, and you're free to take the decisions. But once you take the decisions, you cannot run away from those decisions. You have to bear the consequences of that decision. So please, if again I'm telling you that if you have any question, feel free, write down and or send to me. So I will be glad. I will be make it clearer. I will explain you more, so you don't have any confusion or ambiguity about that. Thank you for listening this presentation or this lecture, and I hope you have enjoyed it, or you have get some idea about ethics. So what ethics are. Thank you.